Today we're doing something a little bit different and we're talking daily routine in DC Dark Legion. Most of you guys watch my content for the more in-depth game guides on different game modes in the game, league events, champions, those types of things. But one of the reasons why I started making content in the first place is to help new players. So we're going to start doing a few videos interspersed with all the typical content you'll see on this channel geared towards people who are just starting out, maybe on a new server, maybe on an alt, to help you min-max your daily quests, which is what we're going to talk about today, and maybe thinking about the economy in a new light, especially since a lot of the game has drastically changed with all the updates that the devs have been doing over the last couple of months. I realize this may bore some of you, so I hope you will tune in the next video that releases on the channel. We've definitely got a lot of stuff in store. And if not, let's go ahead and jump in. And we're going to start from the missions tab. So if I back out, you can access it from the bottom left. And you're going to have obviously your target missions. But what I typically do when I log into the game is I'm going to go over to the daily tab and I'm going to look at some of the things that I can do to start earning a few things. Now, obviously you're going to get points. There's 100 total points that you're going to get when you're doing these dailies. And it's kind of the first thing that I want to clear out whenever I'm playing. Now you're going to get 10 points for just logging in. You'll get points for, as you can see, helping your league members. And you're also going to get some points for your technology here. So we'll go ahead and do some donations. We'll get those 20 out of the way. And while we're in there in the league tab, like I said, you would be clicking the help tab or the help button over here. We can claim our chests. And then we'll go into territory. If your league has any territories, you'll typically get these daily member rewards. It's worth claiming those to get the intel points. And then we can back out. We can go back over to the dailies tab and we'll claim those additional points. There's a couple of other things that are worth noting here. Today is Mother Box Day in Supreme Commander. We'll talk about Supreme Commander and League Mobilization in a moment. But typically, I only recommend that you use the Decode 5 mother boxes on Mother Box Day. They're working out a fix for this, but if you try to decode the green mother boxes, which are the cheapest ones, it forces you to do 100 at a time. Eventually, they're hopefully going to get to a point where you can just do the 5 for this quest, or either they'll just take this quest out. But it's a little bit inefficient to do it. You can still get to your 100 points by only doing a few of these. Obviously, I like to do this draw one to get 20 points. That one's pretty easy. And I haven't drawn for Raish Al Ghul yet. Let's do one on Raish and see what happens there. Nothing, but you'll get those 20 points. We're gonna jump back over here and we'll claim that. Let's see what else we can do. So craft 3 pieces of gear. I like to do this one because you don't have to craft the highest level gear to get this. You can scroll all the way over to the left-hand side, green, and just do 3 to get it out of the way. Obviously, on days that you are crafting gear for Supreme Commander or whatever else, you can craft your higher level gear, but just to get the quests out of the way, always just do those greens. And we're already at 60 points. We can go ahead and claim a couple of these. You can see that you're going to get Monitors badges, and these are for the Monitors Legacy Pass. That's another thing that we'll talk about as part of this video. And we did level up our Legacy Pass when we just did that. We'll head over there in a moment and I'll show you what that looks like. The next things we're going to do, we'll make purchases in the store. I always do this. So we'll go over here. And the things that I recommend that you buy, and I've got deep dives on the economy. I definitely want to do another one soon. But one of the most important things to be buying with your gems is going to be either this 180 gem 3 anvil pack or the 60 gem 1 anvil pack. It's the most efficient one. There's another one here, and it's typically either 3 anvils for, I forget the exact price, I think 300 and something gems, or it'll be this 5 for 539, 111%. It's really not efficient, and if you don't spend a lot on the game, then it's definitely not worth buying because you'll run out of gems really quickly. But I do spend a little bit, so I'm able to go ahead and get that one. We'll grab this one here, which is incredibly worth getting. And then we'll take this these keys as well, because we're going to be pulling some mother boxes as part of this video as well. We'll grab those AC/DC shards. Those are always worth getting. Some of the, I always get the free ones. Some of the cash ones I don't even bother with anymore for my account, but you should definitely be buying all of the cash resources here in the shop every day if you are a newer player, for sure. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. We can jump back over to and we'll go ahead and handle that target. So let's claim the purchase. And then we've got to we got to get 30 more points. So what we'll end up doing, I think crisis response is going to be pretty simple. Now that they've added this way that people can help you, a lot of the time when you log in, you'll already have 10 of these that are completed for you. So you just got to claim those really quickly. I don't know how far that got us. Let's check. All right, so we're going to have to do one of these. Shouldn't be a problem. So you can do these dispatches to help others, and it usually takes only about 15 seconds, I think. Yeah. So we'll claim that in just a moment, and we're going to get those 10. And then can do drones. We don't have any tech research going on right now, so that one is a little bit more difficult to do for me. But typically, if you're a newer player, especially if you haven't gotten to War Room level 35 yet, you'll easily be able to knock that 20 drones out. And even people who are at War Room level 35, you're almost always going to have some sort of research going on, especially during Supreme Commander. So that one typically is pretty easy to use. Combat Cycle is one that obviously we should talk about next. Combat Cycle is my favorite area of the game. And once I've gotten or knocked out most of my daily quests, I come into Combat Cycle and do that. So at some point before the end of this video, you'll see me claim the rewards for Combat Cycle for doing the dailies there. But we'll come back to that one. So let's go ahead and claim this. Once you do that, it gives us the 10 tasks completed. All right, so we're at 80. And again, we're going to knock out Combat Cycle. We're going to knock out mother boxes. But the next thing that I'm going to be doing, like once I've hit all the ones that are pretty easy to clear out, obviously you want to be taking all the resources from your base, just from the idle farming that's being done there, and we'll claim all those. I'll go over to my legacy pass, and any of the things that I've done from claiming my daily quest or doing things in the game. You have a lot of these little items that you can complete, and you're going to get 200 of the monitor's badges for doing that. And when you complete those, it's going to complete more and more of the levels in your legacy pass. And this is going to be incredibly important. I mentioned this in some of my economy videos, but if you're only willing to spend $10 on the game per month, you should be buying the legacy pass, the $10 legacy pass, because you're going to get a ton of extra rewards here on the premium pass, especially these additional Intel tokens that you can use. And those will be very beneficial to push your account along. I mean, it probably progresses your account 3 or 4 times faster than if you don't buy the legacy pass. And you're also going to be getting a lot of things like anvils and gems here as well. So very important to make sure that you're maxing that out to level 50. Even if you don't spend, you want to get those first 50 legacy pass levels as quickly as you can. Make sure you get it within that 30-day time frame to maximize that piece of everything. And then obviously you have your MetaBrawl. Now, some people take their MetaBrawl a lot more seriously than I do. Obviously, if I was a whale, I probably would, because things typically don't move that fast. Like everyone already has the champions fully maxed out. So the only thing that's going to be different is your transmutes and legacy items. So it's a little bit more fun, I guess, to gamify that. But for me, there's just so many different people I'm fighting against that I don't have like a recurring list of people that I'm fighting. So what I will do is I'll go in and hit people that I have a reasonably decent chance of beating. You can see I've got my Superman family here with Martian Manhunter, and you can actually just quickly do all of your fights. I'm sure at some point they're going to patch this, but even if we didn't do that, it's pretty easy to go in and do your MetaBrawl. I don't find it fun at all, because you can't do anything except for sit there and stare at your champions not doing what they're supposed to. Like Crypto just runs to the corner and doesn't even ult half the time. which seems to be a little bit broken there. But at any rate, we got our 3, and I should point this out as well. So when you do those, you can claim rewards over here in the bottom left. You always want to be doing that. It's very important to do all of your MetaBrawl. I'll knock these other 2 out off screen, but it's definitely important to do all 5 of those MetaBrawl hits, because you're going to be able to get 25 additional gems for doing that, and you'll get some MetaBrawl tokens as well. So very important to make sure that you're doing that each day. Obviously, here in ACN, you want to make sure that you're constantly using up all these intel points and making sure that it doesn't get to fully maxed. You don't want to lose out on any of those rewards. We'll go ahead and raid here and get some alloy. Training sim, I don't always hit. Sometimes I will if I know that I've upgraded champions and got a little bit further. One thing you do want to make sure you're constantly doing is claiming this XP here. It's going to help a lot with pushing your account forward. And you can also jump in here and claim these 5 gems from Realm of Fate. I think a lot of the time they put some of these things here as breadcrumbs to make you go into specific modes. For example, in the store, you get some daily rewards. It's a very token reward here for Gift of Source, weekly pass, and daily deals. And it's just really a way to get you to go to that screen so you'll buy stuff. But definitely worth claiming those rewards as well when you can. And then I think the bread and butter of what you're logging in for, kind of the big gameplay loop for this game revolves around Supreme Commander, and to an extent, now that they've made it a lot better, League Mobilization. So the way this works, just in a nutshell, is Supreme Commander lasts for 5 days. It typically starts on Monday in the US, and each day you have to use certain resources in your account to get points. There is some overlap. You know, there's certain things like anvils you can use every day and you're going to get points. Drones you can use a couple of days, etc. But it's very important that you use those resources on the Supreme Commander Day to get points, because you're going to be getting magic eyes, and those magic eyes allow you to get legacy pieces. Like, it's a cycle. You're going to get a lot of gems from doing everything this way, and those gems are going to allow you to buy things at the Interstellar Visitor, which are the cheapest resources in the game, including the 40 anvils that you get there. So very important to make sure that you revolve your account around Supreme Commander. I mentioned today is Motherbox Activation Day. So what I'm going to do here, if I go into League Mobilization, you can see that I already have the 2,000 Motherbox points exclusive mission selected here. And when we go in and start pulling mother boxes, we'll go ahead and get 2,000 on screen so you can see how this works. Once we get that, we'll jump back over and I'll show you claiming the League Mobilization rewards. I'm getting a lot of those World Anvil fragments from having all the legendaries upgraded, which is really nice. And then one more, I believe, should do it. Okay, there we got the 2,000. So we go back over to League Mobilization. We can submit that one, and you want to make sure you claim your rewards over here for doing that. So we get a decent amount of gems, league contribution points. We're getting anvils, ACDC shards, mother box cubes. It really does add up from doing it this way. So not only are we getting the points from the League Mobilization, but we go over to Supreme Commander, and we just got a significant amount of the Supreme Commander points. So we're claiming more gems, more magic eyes here. And like I said, it really does kind of like add up on top of itself. You have to be, if you want to play this game and enjoy the game, you really have to be doing Supreme Commander at least to the first 50 or 60,000 points per day to get through round 3. At the end of round 3, you get like 2 magic eyes. After that, the 4th round is really for whales or for light spenders to get a few extra magic eyes for each day. You can see just those 2,000 mother box cubes were able to get us to the 50,000 that we needed to clear out the first 3 rounds, and we actually ended up getting a little bit towards round 4. Okay, so you've done all of your daily quests, you've done all of your Supreme Commander, League Mobilization, you've done your MetaBrawl hits. Typically, there will be some sort of events going on each day that you want to be keeping track of. 3v3 just ended, but I would typically do my 3v3 hits whenever that is up. I will make sure that you claim your login rewards. This is a new feature that just came within the last few days, and or I guess maybe the last couple of weeks, I should say. But it's been, I think a lot of people have liked being able to get this. It's nice to get a few additional rewards each day. And then we do have an event up. It's the Wheel of Fate. Wheel of Fate, we can spin the wheel, and we're going to be getting a few rewards for spinning that. Do one here, get 20 tickets. You can go spin those tickets. This is something that typically only happens like once a month or so. You can see here on the event calendar kind of what's coming up. Obviously, we've got Guardian Challenge, which isn't really a daily thing, but definitely something that I come and do is check the league or the event calendar and make sure that there's nothing coming up that I'm not aware of. Obviously, Interstellar Visitors coming up down the road. But the next thing that I'm checking is Umbral Rift going to be happening on this day. I know it's going to be starting tomorrow in about 14 hours. I'll go ahead and select my standby squads just in case. That will probably be happening while I'm at work. So select those standby squads just in case I can't join. But that's another thing that I'm always going to be checking. You can do your darkest timeline. Again, that's not really a daily thing, but it's definitely something that I will typically sit down and do once a week or so. And one of the missions that we skipped is Defeat the Dark Legion. You can do your coordinated assaults. Looks like we got a couple we could join here. I typically don't use my preset squads for these. I just kind of join into them. We can initiate one ourselves. Go ahead and initiate a second one here and hope people join those. So we already got someone joining. And then the last thing that I'm really going to be doing from a daily quest perspective, and it's been maybe like 20 minutes since I started recording this video. We pretty much knocked everything out except for combat cycle. So, you can really speed run this. If I wasn't running my mouth, I probably could have done most of what I needed to get done in about 10 minutes. On a day that you just have way too much going on with work or other chores or other parts of life, you really can get most of the daily stuff done in this game that matters in 10-15 minutes or less. We will go ahead and do our combat cycle. Now, what I will say here is, and we're not going to spend a bunch of time watching me do my hits, but I typically spend a decent amount of time on combat cycle trying to figure out the best comp to use for the boss, or seeing if I can make some slight adjustments to my team composition to make it better. So that's probably the thing that I spend the most time on, is either combat cycle or training sim if there's not a league event going on. But that's really everything that you need to know about daily quests for this game. I mean, again, it's really not too complicated to do these. This game is fairly generous in giving your time back. I quit playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, for example, because it just took way too much of my time. I didn't want to spend 2 hours a day trying to min-max things. You can definitely spend more than 2 hours a day playing this game, but you can knock out the dailies fairly quickly, and then you can just focus on whatever it is that's important to you. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know in the comments below what your daily routine is, if it's any different from the one that I just explained. And obviously, if I missed anything that you think is important for a daily routine, would love to hear from you in the comments. As always, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, you'll definitely get notifications anytime I put out a new DC Dark Legion video if you do. And if not, I will see you in the next video.